Hi, my name is Andy, or Dr. Andy as people affectionately know me. I was born in the UK, but I grew up with the Temiars of Malaysia, learning their language, culture and social life. Before there were highways and city lights, before anyone called this place Malaysia, people were already here. We know them as the Orang Asli, the original people, and they know themselves as the people of the forest. Among them are the Temiars, whose ancestors have walked these forests for tens of thousands of years. For the Temiars, the forest is not a backdrop, it is home, teacher and shop all at once. They know where the rivers run deep and cool, where fish rest in the shadows, which vines carry drinking water, which plants soothe a fever. They hunt with patience, not with noise, reading tracks on the forest floor and moving softly through the trees. Their skills are carved into daily life. Hands that carve blowpipes also carve paddles, boats, cooking tools and musical instruments. Temiar houses rise from the forest using timber, bamboo, rattan and palm. Beams are not nails. Walls are not glued. They are tied, wedged and balanced so that the house can breathe, shift and one day return to the earth. No nails, no cement, just knowledge held in the body and passed from one generation to the next. A Temiar elder once joked with me that the difference between the Temiars and the Malays was simple. The Malays wear socks and the Temiars do not. It is a small line, but it points to something real. One foot is already half turned toward the city, the other is still feeling the ground. The Temiars know this ground with bare feet. History books remember Malay sultans and courts, but rarely say who guided them through these forests in the first place. Orang Asli groups, including the Temiars, helped these early rulers survive here. Then the Temiars were slowly pushed aside as power gathered elsewhere. Forests that already had Temiar names were later labelled as empty land on maps. The Temiars have never simply taken from the forest. They have learned to echo it. You can see this in a salai, a Temiar forest field. A salai is usually small and sloping, perhaps a quarter of an acre cut into the hillside. The Temiars clear what they need by hand, leaving fruit trees and useful shrubs standing. The cut growth is then left to dry, then burned, turning it into a thin layer of ash that feeds the soil. Into this living, smoking ground, they plant a mixture of life: tapioca roots, corn, leafy shrubs, bananas, durian, jackfruit, rambutan, and sometimes dry hill rice. No endless straight rows, no single crop stretching to the horizon. It looks more like a garden that has grown out of the forest itself. At first, a salai stands out, a pale patch against a deeper green. Over months and years, crops grow and are harvested. Birds pick at fallen fruit. Small animals come to feed. Trees return, slowly, quietly. And after 10 or 15 years, to a casual eye, that salai looks like untouched jungle. Only a specialist or a Temiar elder can see the pattern of fruit trees and old planting lines hidden under the leaves. For the forest, the salai is not a scar. It is a conversation. People eat, animals eat, the forest thickens again. No ecosystem collapse, no dead river, just a small piece of forest that has learned a new song and then slipped back into the choir. in daily life, the same pattern repeats. Temiars build houses that can be disassembled and moved rather than poured into concrete. They fish by knowing the seasons of the river, the moods of the water. They carve what they need from what the forest offers, and when those objects have served their time, they break down and return to the soil. Living this close to the ground, the smallest change is felt early. A missing bird call, a thinning shade, the smell of dust where there should be damp leaves. In the last 50 years, that careful way of working with the land has been forced to clash with a much louder one. Across Malaysia, much like the Amazon, huge areas of rainforest have been cut for timber, flooded for dams, or cleared for oil, palm and other plantations. Hills where Temiar families once planted rice are now bare or planted in rigid lines for someone else's profit. Rivers that ran clear now turn brown after rain like a drink of teh tarik. The sound of birds and cicadas is replaced by chainsaws and engines. For the Temiars, this is not just an environmental issue. It is food, story, song, and identity being stripped away. It is ancestral paths blocked by fences and logging roads. It is children growing up with less forest to learn from, even though the knowledge of how to live with that forest is still alive in their community. This is not only a story of loss. Temiar communities organise. They gather at logging roads, they speak in courts, they document their lands and their stories. They teach their children Temiar words for trees, animals and spirits. They continue to plant selai, to hunt and fish, to build houses from forest materials, to dance and to sing. In a time of climate crisis, the Temiars are not just victims on the front line. They are guardians with over 50,000 years of practice in how to live with a rainforest without destroying it. Their knowledge is not stuck in the past. It is a set of skills and values that speaks directly to our future. The question now is not only what will happen to the Temiars if the forest disappears. It is whether the rest of us are willing to listen and learn from them while the forest and the wisdom it holds is still alive. Find out more at temiar.com. Thank you.